Hello! Welcome everyone. Welcome to this is now our third Agile Ventures Makers Academy Charity Jamboree. Welcome. So lovely to see all of you here. So just a little bit of explanation of what's going on here. Jamboree, not sure why we use that term, but it's all about charities today. What we have is at Makers Academy, people do this 12-week sprint to become web developers from zero to hero. And it's an amazing process. The final 2 weeks is a project, and we have these Jamboree. There'll be another Jamboree today at 2:30 where there'll be individual pitches with students' ideas. But we've recently introduced this charity Jamboree, which happens 2 hours earlier, here at 12:30, where local charities and sometimes actually global charities will pitch their ideas for technology solutions that they need to problems that they're facing. And we've actually now, as a result of doing this twice already, we've had 4 different charities have solutions built for them as part of their final projects at Makers Academy. We also have, there's Agile Ventures, and we're actually streaming live. We've got some Agile Ventures people watching. This recording will become available. I'll just switch over to the screen share so they can see what we're doing here. We may have some remote people pitching if they join. We'll do all the people who are here first. So Agile Ventures is a charity which is basically all about bringing people together, bringing developers together to work on charitable projects and improve their development skills in the process, practice working in teams. And this has been going on for a couple of years. And we have a number of different projects. Kind of our flagship project is one that I started, which is the Harrow Community Network, which is a network of charities in Northwest London. It's got a directory for them. And this has been built by developers all around the world. They're all learning developers who never met each other in person. They remotely pair programmed. They came together and built a lot of different functionality for this charity in Northwest London. And that process has since been replicated many times with different sort of projects. Some of our other great projects, we've got there's a system for supporting helping Syrian orphans, and there's again another group of international developers who've never met each other but have all collaborated to help build this admin software for a Syrian orphan charity, and lots of others. And now we've got, so from all there's Snow Angels, Team AIDS, One Day Agile Ventures. Oh, so that's not that one. There's one more. But so all of the projects that the Makers students work on are now also being moved onto the Agile Ventures site in order for other developers from around the world sort of carry on the good work. And really, I mean, it's basically, Agile Ventures is all about meeting nice people, collaborating to develop your skills, and making the world a better place. Who can say fairer than that? And of course, Makers Academy is all about sort of accelerating people really, really fast to become developers. So there's a nice crossover here. So I think that's probably all I need to say about that. How today works is we're going to have, I think we've got at least 3 in-person charities are going to present. They're going to have 5 minutes each to tell us a little bit about what it is that they do, what they need help with. We won't have questions. We'll just have the 5 minutes of that. Feel free to stick around and talk to the people afterwards. But in the spirit of the Jamboree, which it's usually the students just get 1 minute, and it's a quick fire round. So we'll keep that to 5 minutes, get it all done. But if you have questions, save those and come and talk, individually to the charities at the end. Yeah, I think that about covers it. I'll just check in with our remote group here. Yeah, some of the remote people have joined. So let's start off. Helen, if I can come to you, I'll pop your presentation up, and let's find out this one.
I don't really need to use the presentation.
No, well, we can have a nice logo in the background there. And well, I think come and stand here. And if you want the slides to be recorded, then I'll help you. But yeah, take it away. I'll give you 5 minutes.
So I love this program. It's fantastic already. This is the second time that I've pitched, because I pitched about 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago for a prototype to be built for Snow Angels, and the students 6 weeks ago said that they wanted to do it. They built me something that I'm incredibly pleased with, and then Sam suggested that I'd come back and pitch taking it to the next level. So moving from a prototype to a kind of more national product that could be rolled out everywhere in the UK or even internationally. So the Snow Angels is a local volunteers list. So we've got 130 people who've put their names on a volunteers list in a very small village in Surrey. And when it snows, these people have said that they're happy to help the elderly or anybody who's vulnerable or pregnant or anything, with everyday tasks such as walking the dog, doing shopping, clearing the snow, and so on, to avoid those people having to go out on the ice and maybe break bones. So when it snows, we text this list of volunteers. They text us back to say, yes, I'm available, or no, I'm not available today. And then we receive phone calls from local people wanting help, asking us to do the tasks. And we have to match those tasks to the right volunteer who's in the right location at the right time and who wants to do that kind of job and has the relevant checks, because we do some criminal record bureau checks on some volunteers to make sure they can do certain tasks. So that's what the non-profit does. And it's a very small community group, but lots of other villages in the area have approached us to say, we want to set up something similar, can you help us? And to date we've said, well, we can't really help you because we haven't really automated this, and we want to take it to a stage of automation before we help other people to do it. So that's what happened 6 weeks ago. Had a team of 5 makers students, Josh, Jake, Viviana, Steph and Richard, and they built a brilliant prototype that I'm really excited to start using, which is effectively a directory of volunteers that can be updated, etc., a Twilio integration to help us text them all and then receive those texts and interpret what those text messages say so that we can work out who's available and not available, to input jobs and to map those jobs and to match those jobs to the right volunteer, etc. Well, what they built was just for Horsell, so it's just one instance for one village, and what I'd love somebody to do is to use that as a prototype and rebuild it with a broader scope so that any village or community can sign up, can create their own list of volunteers, and can use this service. It doesn't even need to be snow related, it could be any kind of volunteer list service. Hopefully I'm a good client because I can come here twice a week and talk to you about it. And the last graduates perhaps could be mentors for anybody who wanted to take this on. I mean, if I was being really ambitious, I'd say let's add in some payments so that the communities or the villages can pay for the text messages that they're using, so that we don't have to pay for everything centrally. So it's a little bit, so there's a sort of payment system. This is still a non-profit, it's not supposed to make money. And maybe we could optimize it for mobile, and maybe we could make a much better front end for the volunteers to sign up, and for the villages to have a really nice front end that looks good and and so on, because obviously the product at the moment is quite a back end organizer. I guess it's a volunteer management system at the moment, rather than a front end. So there's loads of scope with this, I think, and I'd love somebody to take it on.
And bonus points for coming in well on time. So, 30 seconds. Excellent. That's the kind of presentations we want. Excellent. So, yes, Horsell Snow Angels. Shall we move on to Erin? We'll find this is the Lost Foundation. And,
I'm going to sit down not because I'm lazy, but then hopefully you can see. Hi everyone, my name's Erin. I'm the director and the founder of the Lost Foundation. I'll tell you as quick as I can who we are, what we do, and what we need a little bit of help with. So the Lost Foundation is a charity that specialises in bereavement support for people who have lost their loved ones to cancer. It was born out of personal loss. So my father passed away in 2008, and it was my family and I that witnessed and experienced the lack of bereavement support that was available to us. So some colleagues and I put together an organisation in 2010, and we've been running since then. We're a very grassroots charity. Everything we've done up until now has been in response to either demand that's out there or to our beneficiaries' ideas and such. And although this has come out of a personal problem, this is not personal, it's very much universal. Ooh.
Oh, sorry, that's keynotes.
That's okay, I can talk through the facts, so I'm going to put it back to this one. In terms of the context, so the new statistics that came out in February said that 50% of people will develop some form of cancer in their lifetime. What does this mean? It means that roughly 440 people die a day from cancer in the UK alone. What this translates to is 6,000, assuming everyone has 15 close loved ones, 6,600 people being bereaved by cancer a day in the UK alone. So the demand is there. So what do we... Ooh.
Let's see. There's a problem with going from... Let's see if we can get you onto this one.
Grand. What do we do about it? So our organisation, we run support groups across London and Oxford. Basically, we bring people together who've had similar experiences, and they support one another. Our organisation has got a big bunch of volunteers, all of whom are mental health professionals, and we run the services, but it's very much led by them. We run social events, weekend retreats, we carry out research, we campaign for more support, etc., etc. And recently we've been taken on by Macmillan as their bereavement experts because they don't do any bereavement support. I'm not going to go into detail about how we're different from what's currently out there in sort of too long, but we're different in that other sources of support either are only available to a small subset of people, they often come with a long waiting list, and they're often very time limited, so maybe you're offered 6 or 8 sessions. And peer support is limited to unavailable. What we do is peer support, so we're there available at any point in someone's bereavement journey. They want to come along, speak to others, 1 month in, 10 years in. It's very much led by them. Very directive-led, and the good news is it works. According to them, it's really useful. What we seem to have done over the last few years is create an organisation that fills the gap in bereavement support in our country. What we do is not rocket science. It's very straightforward. We bring people together, they share with one another, and it's very, very helpful for them. As funding cuts have spread across the UK, bereavement services are one of the first to get cut. And so we have national organisations like CRUISE. What they don't offer is peer support. So we're a little bit different in that. The good news is that we've found something that works. So how do we do it, first of all, as well? So we've got a large team, all of whom are volunteers except myself. I took on the full-time role last year purely to help push the charity forward because of demand. But the good news is there's demand. The bad news is our resources are thin at the moment. So what does this look like in terms of an everyday problem for us? It's our country. We're based in London and Oxford. But what's happening with increasing frequency is this. Mary calls from Norfolk and she says, I'm really struggling. I lost my loved one to cancer. I'm really struggling to find support. Can you help me out? I go and have a look. I spend some time on the internet. I find what's local to Mary. I email her and I let her know. Bob from Dorset asked the same question. And as we've created a louder presence, we now spend most of our time responding to queries. And because our resources are so thin, this means that we're not pushing the charity forward that much and trying to get funding and such. We're spending a lot of time responding to queries. So what we want to do, well, that's just to represent just me. What we want to do is we want to house an online search tool on our website where people go on themselves, they type in their postcode, and up pops their nearest source of bereavement support. It would mean that we're able to help a lot more people and save our time. But what it would also allow us to do is monitor, hopefully, the postcodes that are coming up most frequently. So is it that there's tons of need for support in Cambridge, Northampton, and what we can do is monitoring where these sort of the most demand is, we can set up a support group in that location. So it sort of, in the interim, provides them a sort of source of support locally, saves us a little bit of time, but then can help direct our future services. I'm open to what else it could do, but that's kind of like a brief rundown. And that's it. Thank you.
And perfectly on time. I mean, fantastic. Thank you. Wonderful. So I'll just check in to see if we've got people in a holding pattern in there. Oh, we've got just people watching. No one to present online yet. So STEMX. Next, I think we've got. Should I open? What do I have? This was your. Start you with that. Yes. Come on up.
Thank you. I'll stand. My name's Anne-Marie Afternine. I'm founder of the STEMETS, which some of you from Makers may have heard of. Hi, Stephen. We are encouraging girls into STEM, being science, technology, engineering, and maths. And we're doing this with girls specifically, not for women. So if you have never worked or haven't chosen your career yet, basically we're a resource for you. We run hackathons for the girls, we run panel events, we run a mentoring scheme, and this summer we're launching an incubator as well for girls from around the country who have STEM ideas and want to run STEM businesses. So that's what we do in a nutshell. We, at the moment, also run school programs, and we've seen over the last 2 years that we've had 3,500 girls come through and use our services and interact with us. And as a small social enterprise, our next big thing that we need to do is make sure that we're measuring impact in a way that's measurable. So at the moment, we do measure how the girls feel about STEM before they start the event or the workshop, and how they feel about it afterwards. And so we can tell kind of event by event how things are going, and we also know who's coming. But we're not able to then track those girls in an easy way. So what we would like to build as an MVP, I've got in this video. Hoping the sound. Do we need to turn the amp on? Or?
Oh, I think the sound. I think the amp.
UK's science, technology, engineering and maths industry, manufacturing and STEM industry, are currently facing a big issue. There's a skills gap, and only 13% of those in the industry are female. That is 45% in the one UK workforce. We at the STEMs are aiming to inspire in their 2 years, we've got developers, hackathons, and UTC, and we've also got internet and environment. There's been big demand and a lot of interest in developing that skills and direct from that. For the beginning scale, we'd like to maintain a sustained interest. We now like to build on the links in our activity and come to more step content. We want to create a channel which is motivating, engaging, and challenging. An idea which is fun for the girls is this and that's happening. This channel will allow us to measure impact in the best way. It will be co-created with the girls. The STEM's loyalty app will allow girls to check in at our events, collect points for getting involved, and receive rewards for their work. It will also help us measure impact. We've been prototyping the app and the rewards for the girls, and I've already seen how the different elements put together to just best get to impact what the girls need and ways to empower them. Future iterations of the app will allow us to build community between the girls and also connect to these next role models themselves.
So the audio in that was a bit weird, but you saw some of the screenshots from what we figured might work in the app. But basically, when the girls come along to events, they'll be able to collect points. If they post about us on Instagram or their social networks, they'll be able to collect points. If they answer survey questions about their attitudes towards STEM as well, they get points. And the idea is that they can then redeem those points for prizes. But also, it kind of gamifies us trying to get information from them. So yeah, that's it really.
Thanks very much. We're on a roll. We're totally on time today. It's good stuff. Let's just check and see if we've got anybody remote who's interested in presenting. I think not at the moment. Yeah, so I think all these charities are doing fantastic work that we would love to support. Just a little bit more about the process going forward. So the students will be starting their final projects next Monday. There's going to be the another sort of jamboree where the students pitch their own project ideas at 2:30 today, which people are welcome to stay around for if they want. And then there's going to be a process of, people voting on what are their preferences, and who knows what will come out. It all comes down to the students, what they're interested in doing, and so on. But by Friday, I think at the latest, we should have the project will be decided, the teams will be decided. And one of the critical things I'll mention about what we do here at Makers Academy is we preach agile development, which is involving the customer or the stakeholder in the process, at each step of the way. So rather than it being, okay, you want something like this, we'll go and build it for a couple of weeks, and then, oh, it's not what you wanted. It's as Helen was saying, every couple of days checking in. We've done these mock-ups of what it looks like. We've done a prototype. So trying to make sure that what's being developed is, what the customer is actually interested in having created. Of course, it comes with the caveat that there's no guarantee that a workable production system is necessarily produced at the end of the day. It's sort of you know, I think it's a valuable, you know, so sometimes systems will be produced that can maybe go into production, and I think there's one that the solar lookup system I think is now going out and being rolled out nationally. But there's no guarantee of that. I think it's still very valuable to go through the process of thinking about what can be built and seeing it as a prototype, as with the Helens with Snow Angels. You know, one prototype is being built, and that can be the basis then for a subsequent prototype. And as we're seeing with Agile Ventures, it's then we've got, you know, we're adding to the list of projects that people from around the world can contribute to and keep developing. Nikesh.
We've got one person who's having technical, who's trying to get onto the Hangout, so I may pitch for her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would. Do you need something? Slides. Okay. Right. Then I think we'll have to at least briefly look at my email. My apologies. I get a lot of messages. I guess I'm hoping that will come in from. There's Nikesh, the presentation. Yes. Do you want to come and pitch on their behalf? Here we go. That's this one. Here we go. All right. Yes. Yeah. Take it away, Nikesh.
Cool. So I'm pitching on behalf of Sundara. It's a charity I've worked with in the past, and Erin apologizes, but she can't get her laptop to join because Skype doesn't like Google Hangouts.
Okay.
And she's not very technical. So, but what Sundara does is, well, it started with a trip to India with myself and Erin visiting a school in the slums, and I went to the bathroom, came out, tried to wash my hands. There was no water. So I said, what do you guys do to wash your hands? They go down to like a pond at the bottom of their garden, and I go, do you have soap? And they didn't know what soap was, which kind of shocked us. So we went around many schools, and it turned out that outside of the townships, they don't know what soap is. But in the townships, there's such a big class divide that all the hotels and restaurants and things and bars and stuff are throwing away bars of soap that could be reused. So Erin went back and developed a recycling method to recycle soap. We started in Haiti and then moved to India, expanding in India heavily, and then we've started in Ghana last year. But we're getting London hotels involved as well to export used soap bars out and empowering. We basically created a new economy where women are in charge of recycling this entire product, packaging it in Sundara packaging, and giving it out to children. There's a whole lot of stuff that she was going to present, which I can share with everyone. But the point being is that we've got now something that works, and the process is here. So the soap is recycled by Cleaning Star, or is collected. Sundara employs people to collect the soap, completely removed, chopped, sanitized, pressed into new bars, and then distributed to schools, clinics, completely free of charge. But the need is there for a new site. The site has been prototyped, which is on that laptop. Can't share it. Can I share it?
What's the? Is it like
it's a Dropbox link. It's basically a prototype done by some UX people.
But yeah, you could conceivably email me the Dropbox link.
Yeah.
And then,
or Slack.
Yeah, or Slack or what have you. I haven't got Slack running at the moment. There's the thing is, you end up sharing all the Slack messages. But yes, you've Slacked it to me?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just get that up there. And Nikesh, there we go. All right. So that is. When it loads, hopefully, there you go.
So this is a hi-fi prototype of what the site, or what a UX designer came up with. So they're looking for developers to build it. And there is some sort of element of sort of data capture or data gathering, and to see the effect that they're having on collecting bars and how many bars they're collecting, how many lives they're affecting. There are some stats. I think they've recycled. This is really weird pitching on something I'm not prepared for.
Will was doing it at the time before last. but I think everybody's seeing the huge value of this. It's like, yeah, it's such a good project. I mean,
yeah, and on here there's a whole load of work that any developer can take on and do. I just don't have time to do it. But yeah, so that's Sundara. That's what they want done. They've got prototypes. They've started work, but then they need to go from Dropbox HTML stuff to the World Wide Web and get it going. So yeah, that's it.
Fantastic.
It's recycling.
and I'm sure everyone will agree that there's, we've got 4 amazing, worthwhile causes there, and everything we can do to help support them. Now, I think what we'll do there. No, we haven't managed to get any other people who want to present. So I think about those 4 things. Let's wrap up there, and feel free to make students feel free to come and talk to the charity groups. So I think people can stay around, and charity groups, do make sure we've got your contact details, and we will, hook people up. Thanks so much, everyone, for coming. So thanks to the guys for watching out there. We'll just stop the book.